But just a year ago, we had just lost one of our city's most stalwart champions, as you know, and a passionate advocate for health equity. And of course, I'm speaking of Congressman Elijah Cummings. I should say Dr. Cummings, because we in fact did confer honorary degree on him, which was one of the great high points of my time here at Hopkins. But for Elijah, the value of every human life to both the present and the future was incalculable. Tragically, he knew this all too intimately. His own grandparents had indeed died far too young of preventable illness. As Elijah captured it, there is no price you can put on a person living long enough to share their secrets, their inspiration, and their words of wisdom with their children. And if there was ever someone who embodied this understanding of the value of each and every life, it is truly Lisa Cooper. For decades, she has worked tirelessly as a pioneering leader, researcher, and advocate to understand and remedy the complex web of health inequities that disproportionately impact communities of color, and to give every individual the opportunity to live full, meaningful, and long lives. 10 years ago, Dr. Cooper founded the Johns Hopkins Center for Health Equity with a single focus, and that was the elimination of cardiovascular health disparities. Now, since that time, it has grown from a small enterprise into a truly robust research center of 40 faculty, and over 45 national and local partners investigating the broad landscape of factors that contribute to health disparities in our country and indeed around the world. The center's impact has been truly extraordinary. From improving diet and wellness in food deserts to sharing vital information on health disparity research to Congress, all the while pioneering a national model of community engagement defined not merely working for community members, but truly working shoulder to shoulder, hand in hand with them. And the work of Lisa and the center is at this moment more vital than ever as we struggle to contain a pandemic that we know has disproportionately and painfully impacted communities of color. Lisa, I'm looking at you on my screen. We've never been more grateful for your leadership and insight, as you and your colleagues at the center have served as preeminent resource for the public and for policymakers alike. We hope that with a new administration, and yes, there will be a new administration, will come an opportunity for your voices to be heard as the nation shapes a coherent, evidence-based response that explicitly accounts for and addresses these devastating disparities. So to Lisa and to all of your colleagues, thank you for all that you have done to ensure that all people can, in the words of the late Elijah Cummings, flourish and live to share their secrets, their inspiration, and their words of wisdom. Congratulations again on 10 remarkable years, and here is to the next decade and beyond. Now, I'm sorry that I can't stay for the rest of the celebration, but I'd like to turn things over now to Dr. Tangela Purnell, and look forward to this being a very successful event that marks such a significant moment in the life of a very significant part of our university. Thank you all for inviting me to be here. Again, Lisa, bravo.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, President Daniels, for being here to help us celebrate the 10-year anniversary of the Johns Hopkins Center for Health Equity. And welcome to all of you, nearly 100 attendees so far. I am Tangela Purnell, the Johns Hopkins Center for Health Equity's Associate Director for Education and Training, and I am a member of the Planning Committee for today's event. It is indeed an honor to be here to celebrate our 10-year anniversary, and also to celebrate our founding director, Dr. Lisa Cooper's contributions to the field of health equity. At this time, it is my pleasure to introduce Ms. Nancy Malello, another important member of the Event Planning Committee.
Thank you, Tangela. I'm Nancy Malello. I'm the program director, and I really echo Tangela's sentiments about the importance of today's celebration. Indeed, it's a wonderful time to celebrate each other and to celebrate Dr. Cooper. and it's so well needed at this time. We'd like to start by recognizing and thanking other members of the event planning committee with whom this could not have happened if all of these people did not come together around Tangela and I to make it look so easy and simple. I'd like to thank Ariel Hicks and Gia Lee, Devin Brown, and Chioma Anua. We really appreciate all of you being here, and we'd like to thank each of you, and we look forward to this wonderful event and opportunity to celebrate the center. Tangela?
Absolutely. So let's get started. During today's celebration, we will give you an overview of the center's research, training, and policy contributions to the field of health equity over the past decade. But first, we have a couple more JHU leaders who wanted to congratulate Lisa and the impactful work of the center. Here is a video capturing their heartfelt best wishes.
Congratulations, Lisa. Over the past decade, you and your colleagues at the Center for Health Equity have just done a fantastic job. Your goal for health for everyone, no matter their skin color or their income level, is more important today during the pandemic than it has ever been. As you know, COVID has hit poor people and people of color especially hard. Since 2010, you've helped thousands of people here in Baltimore, around the United States, and around the world. And you've trained hundreds of clinicians and researchers. From helping to control blood pressure in African Americans, to providing advice about COVID to policymakers in Baltimore and across the country, your work has had practical results in the real world. Of course, there's so much more to do, but it's important to take a moment and celebrate the success that you've already achieved. Lisa, you and your team, I'd like to congratulate you and thank you for what you've done for both Johns Hopkins, for the city and the country and the world. Congratulations.
I'm Patricia Davidson, Dean of the Johns Hopkins School of Nursing. I wanted to give a huge shout out to Dr. Lisa Cooper and colleagues in the Center for Health Equity for 10 amazing, productive years. The Center for Health Equity is a beacon for social justice in our local community and has provided a North Star for many of us, faculty, staff, and students. So thank you so much, Dr. Cooper, for your leadership, your vision, your commitment, and your passion. And I wish you all the very best, and also the very best to the Center for the years ahead of us, which will require us to be more determined and strategic in our efforts to achieve social justice and health equity. Happy birthday.
Wonderful, thank you. And we look forward to more words. I don't know if Lisa knows who all we have on deck, but you will find out. At this time, it is my indeed pleasure to introduce Reverend Deborah Hickman, who is the CEO of STAR, Sisters Together and Reaching, and also the co-chair of our center's Community Advisory Board since the very beginning, I believe, since 2010. So Reverend Hickman will provide us with some inspirational words to commemorate this special occasion.
You have to unmute yourself, Reverend Hickman.
Thank you. I thought I had done that, but my apologies. Thank you so very, very much, Dr. Purnell, for that wonderful introduction. And I am, as my son would say, hyena happy and peacock proud to be here. I make no mistake today when I invoke the presence of God, because the presence of God has been in the mix for the last 10 years. And no less during the time that we are in, we need to all be invoking his presence and know for an assurance that there would not be a health equity center if it were not for the God and the woman that we are celebrating today, along with her formidable, very formidable staff and all of her colleagues. I mean, only the best has been in this place since its inception, and I am glad to have received a call some 10 years ago to participate in the Project Red Cap, as well as in the ACT study, the 5+ nuts and beans, all of those things that gave me chills when I thought about it, to say that the center has come a long ways and it has done what it was supposed to do in terms of community engagement by making certain that the voices of the people in community matter. If we want to talk about the will in the face of God, it is in the face of those that we serve at all times. And that is what the center has done, and it has done it extremely, very, very well, because the first thing to do to gain the community's trust is you have to listen. And then after listening, you actually have to act. And you can't act alone. You have to act and be involved and allow the community to be involved. And that is what Dr. Lisa Cooper, and again, her formidable, I can't stop saying that, very, very formidable team of colleagues, as well as staff, as well as community members that have been invited to come to the table. Our voices have been heard in the retreats that the center has held. Our voices have been heard in the writing of the grants. Our voices have been heard relative to the marketing and all of those things. And that could not happen except for the fact that we were all on the same street. I have to say that what we need and what we have is that Dr. Cooper and her team have helped community to know the difference between continually living in scarcity versus our abundance. And because our health matters, and because of the fact that one of the first blood pressure studies that got started out of the center, people showed up as heroes in the clinic at their doctor's appointments. Having been well thought out, people were able to take a diary and record their blood pressure and all the things that happened in between visits and know how to take their blood pressures. If all of science, if all of medicine would learn to engage and include the way that the center has done, then we would be thousands, millions of miles down the road. However, I have to say that that's not just yet so. So I am praying to God that God will give all of us another 10, another eternity of years with this center, because we are on the road and we are on the right road to do the right things. I cannot leave this meeting without saying this to you, Dr. Cooper. Today, as in my past presentations, I want to give Audre Lorde her voice back. To encourage you, Lisa, and your formidable team in so doing, that we will find that she does not wish us to cower in fear of the master in the earth, but cower in fear in the master in glory that has constantly led you and will lead you all the way to continued success, till you see every person that is standing up and understanding healthcare and wellness and how to act and respond when they're sitting before providers. I want to say, instead, Audre would want us to stand up to break the false consensus that limits our options to act boldly. You have acted boldly. Thus, Audre Lorde wrote, "Survival is not an academic skill. It is learning how to stand alone, unpopular at times, reviled, and how to make common cause with those others identified as outside of the structures in order to define and seek for us in this city, in our world, in our nation, that we can all flourish." That is what equity is that we all flourish. And that's what your heart has sought for, that there's equality and that there is equity and that there is diversity at the table. It is learning how to take our differences and make them our strengths. You have done that excessively well. And for this, the master's tools will never dismantle the master's house, because the tools that we are using now are Dr. Lisa Cooper's tools that are crafted in her soul, that are manifested in glory, that are manifested in those persons that are learning how to walk upright, how to talk upright, and are learning this with all your heart, that you have given trust to all of us and the center and all of its staff, that you have been passionate, you have been constant, as you have been very conscientious. I call on our God to cover you all around, that all of the funding that the center needs, that all of the assistance that you need in terms of staff, all of those things will come your way. I congratulate you on 10 years, and I hope I travel all the way that God has given you to travel with you and your formidable team. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much, Reverend Hickman. You always give us just what we need right when we need it. At this time, it is our pleasure to welcome to the stage Dr. Lisa Cooper, a Bloomberg Distinguished Professor of Health Equity and the Director of our center, who has been charged with giving us a keynote address highlighting many of the primary accomplishments of our center. And then we will continue our show of honoring both the center and our director. So welcome, Dr. Cooper.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you, Reverend Hickman, for that heartfelt introduction and for all your well wishes and prayers and support over the years. So I'm going to try to share my screen, even though I'm sort of having a few problems here with, let's see if I can find it. It'll take me a second here. Here we are. Here we go. Lots of stuff showing up on my screen here. Trying to get to the slideshow.
You can go to the bottom.
Yep, let me just go to the bottom. There we go. All right, we're all good to go now. So anyway, I'm already so thrilled with what's going on. I mean, some of this honestly is way beyond anything that I expected for today. So I just want to say hello and welcome to everyone. And also, of course, thank you to everyone who worked so hard to make today possible. You know, I felt the remarks from President Daniels and the deans, Davidson and Rothman, were very, very kind. And of course, our support that we've received from the schools of medicine, nursing, and public health and from the university have been invaluable over the years. So I want to thank also not only Reverend Hickman, but all of my community partners, but also, you know, my mentors, sponsors, including the advisory board of the center, and you, my colleagues and friends, and staff members who have made today possible. And then, of course, last but not least, I want to thank my family members and my friends who have been my rock throughout this entire time. And I know several of you are on the line today, my husband and my mother and my sister, my aunt. So thank you. What I want to talk about a little bit today, you heard a little bit about the center, but just to let you all know that we were established 10 years ago with a large program project grant from the NIH to establish a center focused on addressing cardiovascular health disparities in Baltimore. And through that, we were able to bring together a very diverse team of clinicians, scientists, and community members and leaders from several sectors of society. We use collaborative team science, we use comparative effectiveness and implementation research methods, as well as community-based participatory research principles and practices to achieve our goals. And this is the mission of the center, is to, through research and education and training and community engagement, to advance effective health system practices and community practices and policies that will achieve health equity in the US and around the world. And pictured here is our community advisory board, which includes, in addition to many of the center's faculty, staff, and trainees, over 60 members who represent national and local organizations, health systems, educational partners, professional societies, government, community and faith-based organizations, as well as patients and family members and the business sector. And so we were pictured here at the beginning of 2020, where we sent out our well wishes. As you know, we talked about the center has these 3 strategic focus areas: engagement, community and stakeholder engagement, research, and training. So this is an overview of our activities. You will hear much more about this from today's amazing lineup of speakers. And speaking of the speakers, we have an amazing team here. As Reverend Hickman said, they are formidable. We have 42 core faculty members and approximately 20 staff and over 120 trainees. And we've had experience of over 30 years of innovative research and practice. We have health professionals and public health scientists from multiple disciplines who really run groundbreaking research programs and award-winning educational programs. Our staff members are also just incredible. They are trained in research program operations, in management and administration, in data collection and analysis, and in health communication. And so these are a few of our leaders, many of whom you'll hear from on today's program. So we have leaders for our research development, our stakeholder engagement, education and training, policy translation, strategic partnerships, methods and shared resources. And then we have 2 of the co-principal investigators of the center's research projects, as well as, we have co-principal investigators of all 3 of the center's research projects pictured on this slide. So I want to take you a little bit through a story of how the center has evolved over the years. And one of our amazing research assistants, Chioma Onua, actually made this beautiful slide. So as you just heard, we were established in 2010. And the other thing that I didn't tell you about was, though, that we did launch 3 intervention studies at that time. And we were able to do that because we had partners from not only the schools of medicine, nursing, and public health, but also from the Johns Hopkins Community Physicians Healthcare Delivery System, from our major insurer, the Johns Hopkins Healthcare Plan, and also from Sisters Together in Reaching, or STAR, as well as our other community partners. So we received that grant. We launched those intervention studies after establishing our community advisory board, which, as I mentioned to you, has now over 60 members. Now, our 3 studies were Project Redship, the ACT study, and 5+ Nuts and Beans. In 2015, we were fortunate to compete for and receive a $12.2 million research award to conduct the Rich Life trial. The trial is funded by the National Institutes of Health and the Patient-Centered Outcomes Research Institute through a special program called the Hypertension Disparities Reduction Program. We also launched the Health Equity Jam Session event series that same year, and this is an informal forum where we have colleagues, trainees, community partners working together on health equity research can get together informally to discuss ideas for new research proposals, for research in progress, responses to peer review, collaboration and funding, and they can inspire and energize one another. Shortly after that, in 2016, we received another grant from the National Institute of Minority Health and Health Disparities to conduct the 5+ Nuts and Beans for Kidneys trial, which you'll hear more about from Dr. Cruz. That year, I was fortunate to be recognized as a Johns Hopkins University Bloomberg Distinguished Professor. And this prestigious professorship allowed me to build additional collaborations with colleagues across the university and also enhance the center's ability to address major world problems. It solidified our cross-disciplinary mandate and allowed us to delve into newer areas and into newer populations and disease conditions. In 2017, we made the decision to change the name of the center from the Center to Eliminate Cardiovascular Health Disparities to the Center for Health Equity to reflect this broadening perspective on other social determinants of health, and also to reflect our broadening of our focus beyond cardiovascular disease to other related health conditions such as diabetes and chronic kidney disease, among others. We also wanted to make sure that we were now broadening our focus beyond adult populations to look more at life course perspectives and intergenerational approaches, and also to expand our focus beyond African-American populations to also African and Latin diaspora populations around the world. That same year, we launched our first degree level course called the Applications of Innovative Methods in Health Equity Research. And this course has won teaching awards in 2017, 18, and 19. In 2018, we received funding from the Johns Hopkins Alliance for a Healthier World to conduct the Adinkra study, which you'll hear more about as well, addressing hypertension care in Africa, in Kumasi, Ghana. We also co-sponsored several symposia in 2019, where we focused on the fierce urgency of now, which was focused on maternal health disparities. And we launched a symposium called Achieving Health Equity Together, focused on global health partnerships to address health equity, and also a symposium in collaboration with the Johns Hopkins Bloomberg American Health Initiative called 1619 to 2019, The Legacy of Slavery for Health Equity in Baltimore and Beyond. And this was also done in partnership with the Urban Health Institute. And finally, in 2020, we launched the center's second degree level course, Local and Global Best Practices in Health Equity Research Methods, and also launched the center's first two massive open online courses on health equity research. So those courses are available for individuals who are unable to pursue degree level courses, and you'll hear much more about those from Dr. Purnell. So in terms of our progress and our research influence, we've published, of course, numerous papers, over 100 peer-reviewed papers, but that's not the most important thing. You know, President Daniels mentioned that we had done pivotal research, and so our research has shown that a program that provides dietary advice and help with grocery ordering, as well as an income supplement for the purchase of high potassium foods, leads to increased consumption of fruits and vegetables among African American patients with controlled hypertension who live in a food desert. We also showed that clinic-based care management improves blood pressure control among both African Americans and white patients, and is a cost-effective strategy for African American patients and elderly patients. And then finally, we showed that a context-adapted community health worker intervention is correlated with improvements in blood pressure control among socially disadvantaged African American patients. And in terms of our training, we've done numerous things which you're going to hear more about, but among those is that we've developed a mentoring and training curriculum that serves as a model for other centers and institutions across the country. And in terms of our engagement, not only have we had a robust partnership with over 60 members that has thrived for 10 years, but we've also shared the benefits of this partnership in the Baltimore community with other groups around the world. And we continue to have opportunities to provide expertise to support policy changes at the state. I wanted to share with you that I am so excited that in 2021, with the support from the Bloomberg Distinguished Professors Program, my book, Why Are Health Disparities Everyone's Problem, will be published by the JHCHE Press as part of a special series. And this book will provide many of the lessons learned through our work at the center over the past years. So please look out for it, and tell everybody else about it too. So in closing, I just want to say that the events of 2020 have made the importance and timeliness of the center's work clearer than ever. Today, in the midst of a pandemic that has magnified and highlighted the impact of health disparities on the world's most vulnerable groups and communities, we continue to work towards our vision of health equity, and we celebrate the commitment of all who have made this possible. Thank you. And I'd like to now turn this over to Dr. Purnell.
Wow, a brilliant presentation and brilliant leadership. So thank you to our director. And again, thank you all for being here. I see that we have now crossed the 100 threshold. So thank you to all 105 of you who are here. So at this time, I'm on the agenda to talk about our training and education programs. But first, before I present, I am thrilled, or we are thrilled, to surprise Lisa with a few more video recordings from additional special guests who some are here, some are not, but they all wanted to say congratulations. So let's run the video, Gia.
Delighted to add my voice to the chorus of congratulations for Dr. Lisa Cooper and her colleagues at the Center for Health Equity for the 10th anniversary of the center's work. Lisa's commitment, vision, and leadership are interventions to improve the health of the residents of the community, not only of Baltimore, but also in other cities around the US, and indeed in countries around the world. Happy anniversary, and my very best wishes for the next 10 years of accomplishments in research, training, and policy work.
I'd love to congratulate Lisa and all her staff and compatriots at the center on a 10th anniversary that could not be celebrated in a more important year than this one. I'm looking forward to continuing to serve on the advisory committee for the program and hope to see it reach even greater heights. This is a terrific time to celebrate, and we need every good thing that we can possibly celebrate at this time.
Hello, my name is Jill McGovern, and as a longtime member of the Johns Hopkins community, I've had the privilege of observing the achievements of Dr. Lisa Cooper for many years. The MacArthur Genius Award that she received in 2007 was richly deserved recognition of her groundbreaking work in health disparities among vulnerable. With Baltimore as her laboratory, she identified the needs of disadvantaged communities and designed interventions to reduce disparities and improve outcomes. Under Dr. Cooper's leadership, the Johns Hopkins Center for Health Equity was established in 2010 to build on these pioneering studies and amplify her vision for equitable health and healthcare in Baltimore and beyond. Now, as a member of the Center for Health Equity Advisory Board, I have witnessed the results of a decade of innovative research and practice. Dr. Cooper personifies the ethos of Johns Hopkins: research, teaching, and public service. As a Bloomberg Distinguished Professor, she bridges medicine and public health, and the center's interdisciplinary team reflects community engagement and institutional involvement. The influence of Dr. Cooper and the center may be most evident in the next generation that she has mentored as health equity researchers and advocates for change to eliminate health disparities. If there was ever a time for the Center for Health Equity, 2020 is it. On the center's 10th anniversary, I am delighted to salute Lisa Cooper and the Center for Health Equity and offer my heartfelt wishes for continued success.
Hi, Lisa. It's my absolute joy and pleasure to congratulate you on your leadership of the Center for Health Equity. It's hard to imagine that it's been 10 years. So much has happened, so much work has been done. You have pulled together an amazing team, and I'm so excited to have the privilege to work with you and with them. And I just want to wish you all the best for the next 10 or 20 or however many you would like to see. The work that you're doing is so impressive and so important, particularly in this day and time. I don't know what the next 10 years will be like, but I'm certain that the best is yet to come. And whatever the task is, you'll be up to the challenge. So I just again want to say congratulations, God bless, and thank you for all you do. Love you.
Wonderful.
Beautiful. Oh, thank you.
All right. So at this time, it is indeed my pleasure to talk to you about the Education and Training Corps and some of the accomplishments of this Corps over the last 10 years. And so again, for those of you who joined late, I'm Tangela Purnell, the Associate Director for Education and Training here at the center. So I like to start with the end in mind. So I'll start by bragging a little bit about the center's training corps achievements. So we've had over 150 trainees who have been paired with faculty mentors. We also have over 2,000 students, which is mind-boggling considering our first course was not until 2017. We've had multiple achievements for those who were trainees and progressed into future leadership roles, including national awards and recognition, grants, senior faculty positions, seminal publications focused on ways to address health equity, leadership roles across the board in academia, the community, the broader public world. And then also we've had people who have matriculated from, as far as high school or maybe even middle school. I can't remember. I'm thinking about Athena, and who have now gone on to undergraduate in medical school, and others who started out as undergrads and ended up in graduate programs, all really focused on wanting to promote health equity. And we've done this by really creating novel, specialized training in designing research interventions, community engagement, and translation into policy and practice. And so first, I want you, and we have these photos here for a reason. Like, look at these, wonderful faces. And you will probably recognize many of these folks who actually, at one point or another, were considered trainees in this center, in the house that Lisa Cooper and others built, right? And so I think that speaks to exactly what Dr. Bowie just said about, the next generation and even moving forward, because, often people say, build your table and bring others there. And I think this is a prime example of that. And so how did we get here, I guess, even in the first place? And so our training programs evolved from 2010 to now. As you know, we were initially the Hopkins Center to Eliminate Cardiovascular Health Disparities. I, as a PhD student, was not the training corps director. That title belonged to Dr. Sharita Golden. And so Dr. Golden was the training corps director from 2010 to 2015. And there was a total, along those 5 years, there were a total of 39 pre-doctoral and postdoctoral fellows, including junior faculty. I was a member of the first cohort of 3 pre-doctoral trainees, and we wrote several papers together. So that was the other thing. We had, opportunities to be involved from the very beginning in terms of thinking about how to build a curriculum that really helped to fill the gaps in what we were doing. In the beginning, this really focused a lot on just those handful who were considered center fellows, but we learned how to really move this work forward in terms of thinking about how to provide this material for the broader public. And so around, I guess, late 2015, Dr. Cooper and I spoke about the opportunity to take over as the director of our Education and Training Corps. And as a very new faculty member, that was very scary and felt very daunting. And also, we were sort of in between funding, but we thought about it and we got our heads together and we were able to do, I guess, some really impactful and wonderful work together. And that has included, our health equity jam sessions growing over the years from, I think initially we had about 7 or 8 attendees to, upwards of 500 in some of our special events. As Dr. Cooper mentioned, we now have 2 official courses in the School of Public Health, one in the 3rd term, one in the 4th term. And we would like to announce that these courses are now for 4 credit hours instead of the 2 because of the amount of material that we have. We have 2 open access courses that are available, which I'll show you a little bit more. And we have a faculty mentoring program where we pair trainees with faculty members who are involved in the center's work and also their own work related to health equity. So in terms of our online free courses, our first two, Foundations for Health Equity Research, and second one, Applications of Health Equity Research Methods for Practice and Policy, both came out, here in 2020, and we already have made an impact with that, which I'll show you on the final slide. But then this is just, again, showing some of our flyers for our health equity jam sessions and special events. So today's event obviously is an important one to celebrate our 10-year anniversary. The photo at the bottom, where we all came together to stress the importance of improving maternal health, particularly among Black women, and to honor Dr. Shalon Irving. And we also have a newsletter. We have a researcher resource newsletter that goes out to our trainees and core faculty, but then we also have our Health Equity Happening newsletter so that we can also continue to engage all of our key stakeholders. And so my final slide is really just to show you the impact of some of this work. And this is just since 2016, these numbers. And so our best estimates in terms of some of the trainees who are now considered former trainees, we have had at least 118, about 78% female, at least 47% Black, African American, and some of these numbers are not reflecting people who chose not to provide that information. At least 16% Asian American, 23% white, at least 46% pre-doctoral trainees. And when we when I looked at the numbers just recently at the number of attendees we've had at our broader didactic activities, the number of attendees for our jam sessions and special events, again, so this is starting, we started tracking in April 2016. We've had 7,473. I had to redo those numbers 3 times because, it's mind-boggling to really think about. For our formal courses, we've had 158 students. And for our open courses on Coursera that were just launched this year, we've had 2,154. And so I think that it's safe to say that the work of the center is truly going to be impactful and really helping to shape the next generation of health equity researchers and change agents. And we are all very thrilled to continue working together to do the important work of promoting health equity. So thank you all who have played a role in helping our training corps to soar and to reach higher heights. So at this point, we have a few additional people who would like to send their congratulations on behalf of the training corps. So will you please run the video?
Lisa, I'm really sorry I could not make it to the 10th anniversary of the Johns Hopkins Center for Health Equity. I just want to say congratulations for all of your hard work, and I have really admired your passion and dedication for the most vulnerable. You've been an amazing mentor to me, and I thank you for all the guidance you've given to me, both professional and personal. I wish you all the best. God bless you. And I am doing this video from the Democratic Republic of the Congo, where I'm working on COVID, and thank you for your inspiration, Lisa.
Hello, I am Tangela Purnell. It has indeed been such a wonderful experience to be involved with the Center for Health Equity since the very beginning. I was honored to be among the first cohort of only 3 total pre-doctoral trainees in 2010. And it has been my absolute pleasure to serve as the Associate Director for Education and Training of the Center since January 2016, under the direction of the amazing genius, Dr. Lisa Cooper. We are so proud of the nearly 200 clinical and public health scholars who have participated in our center's faculty mentoring and training activities. And we look forward to making an even greater impact over the next 10 years. Thank you, Dr. Cooper, for your vision and leadership. You are a phenomenal mentor, leader, and champion for health equity. We are grateful for you and for everyone who has helped to make the center such a success. Thank you all.
Hello, Dr. Cooper and everyone at the Center for Health Equity. Congratulations on this 10-year anniversary. The longevity in itself speaks to the excellence and the importance of the center's work as well as to the power of the people and the partnerships that you've built over the years. I feel very fortunate to have gotten to know you, Dr. Cooper, and to have worked with you so closely on the Health Equity Research Methods course, along with Dr. Purnell. I know that was a passion project for both of you, and to have been a small part of it is truly an honor. I know I speak for Kate Lifehite when I say that as well. I've learned so much, not only in terms of the content of the course, but also from the way that you carry yourself. You give so generously of your time and your knowledge to your students, your mentees, and this course will benefit not only students at Johns Hopkins, but people around the world. And I think that is just truly admirable. So thank you so much for your leadership, your wisdom, standing up for what's right, all of your mentorship, your support. And I just feel extremely fortunate to know you and wish you all the best in the next 10 years.
Congratulations to the Johns Hopkins Center for Health Equity on its 10-year anniversary. Congratulations especially to my mentor, colleague, friend, extended family member, Dr. Lisa Cooper. Lisa, you have been foundational in my career development from the time that I was a PhD student, allowing me to work on your study with you, the Bridge Project, using that data for my dissertation, to moving on, supporting me even when I was away from Hopkins and working in industry, and returning back to Hopkins as a GIM fellow and trainee. You have been, essential to my progression as a researcher, as a scientist, and as a woman. And I thank you so much for all that you've given to my life, all that you continue to give, and I wish all the best for you today and 10 more years to the Johns Hopkins Center for Health Equity. Love you.
Congratulations, Dr. Cooper, on a phenomenal 10 years of success through the Center for Health Equity. As I always say, you are the reason for the season. I'm extremely honored and blessed to have you as a mentor and friend. Thank you so much for believing in me and supporting me since I was a medical student, and for your personal investment in my success. Your unwavering commitment towards advocating for the underserved and disadvantaged towards health equity is truly inspiring to us all. And you do it all with such dignity and grace. May God continue to bless you. I love you.
Oh my goodness. I promised myself I was not gonna cry, and I won't, but someone is, which means that we are achieving our goal. I see the chats with people saying this is so inspirational. I definitely echo that. We believe in giving people their flowers while they are yet here with us. And so you rightfully are receiving your flowers, as well as celebrating the achievements of the overall center. At this time, I welcome Dr. Chidima Ibe, who is my own personal partner in crime, but also our Associate Director for Stakeholder and Community Engagement. So welcome, Chidima.
Thank you so much, Dr. Purnell. And I just want to express how happy I am and excited and proud I am to be here with you all to not only celebrate Dr. Cooper, but also commemorate the center's 10-year anniversary. And really, I'm just going to talk about the work that the Stakeholder Engagement Core does to further the center's goal of advancing health equity. As Dr. Purnell said, I'm Chidima Ibe, and I'm an assistant professor in the School of Medicine. I'm also the Associate Director for Stakeholder Engagement in the Center for Health Equity. And so I think to start things off, I want to frame the Stakeholder Engagement Core by presenting this excellent definition of stakeholder engaged research from the Patient-Centered Outcomes Research Institute. And what you can see from this definition is that stakeholder engaged research is characterized by meaningful involvement throughout the spectrum of the research process, not tokenism. It's also marked by a commitment to enhancing the translation and dissemination of research by valuing the unique talents, insights, and contributions of all collaborating partners, irrespective of their level of training. And as we've already heard from comments from President Ron Daniels, from Reverend Deborah Hickman, these are the characteristics that shine through in terms of what the Center for Health Equity has done historically. So let's talk about the Community Advisory Board, which began as soon as the center was created. And to Dr. Cooper's credit, the center did not launch in isolation from different stakeholders who had a vested interest in the research, training, and other activities that form the crux of what the center is about. The Community Advisory Board is not the only way that the Center for Health Equity advances stakeholder engaged research, but it is one of the core vehicles to really create pathways for respectful bidirectional learning, to facilitate collaborative partnerships in all phases of research and practice, to ensure that the research that is actually done by the center is culturally sensitive, culturally humble, relevant, and appropriate, and then to disseminate these findings for everyday use so that the work doesn't just remain within the confines of an academic hall or within research, but really is shared with people and amplified in the community itself. The CAB rather is composed of members representing a variety of organizations and backgrounds. We have national organizations represented, health systems, educational partners, professional societies, government, whether local or state, community and faith-based organizations and businesses. We meet on a quarterly basis, and the CAB is co-chaired by the illustrious Reverend Hickman and, of course, Dr. Cooper. The Community Advisory Board is a great forum for community members and researchers, as well as trainees and staff from the center to talk about the research that's being done, but also to illuminate the needs of the community and to see how each of these partnering entities can help each other. The mission and vision of the CAB is listed here. We envision healthy and just communities in Baltimore and beyond. And the mission of the Community Advisory Board is to promote health equity in communities locally and globally through strong community academic partnerships. Now, we have talked at length, and so many people have spoken so glowingly about the stakeholder engaged principles that undergird the Center for Health Equity. And it isn't easy to get to this place. You don't arrive at being a leader and stakeholder community engagement as Dr. Cooper is and as the center has become without some struggles and without some challenges. So what you see on this table summarizes some of the challenges that we experienced, as well as the solutions that we derived. And these solutions don't suggest that we have arrived. We know that there's always work to be done, and we constantly work together as a team to describe what that work needs to be and to strategize around it. I'm excited to share that we've had several excellent accomplishments over the past 10 years. We have hosted CAB meetings and retreats with CAB members. In fact, the picture that you see is from our most recent retreat at the Admiral Fell Inn. It was a great retreat with excellent food. And so we have these retreats, we have these meetings, and we do this to strengthen relationships, to foster the bidirectional learning that I've mentioned before, and as you can see, is the thread that goes across all of the different aspects of the center, and really to establish a shared agenda. We also hold bi-monthly work group meetings. And what I would like to underscore with these work group meetings is that they really underline that stakeholder engaged work isn't just a matter of having a pleasant personality or being a nice person. It's actually something that engages a level of intentionality and purpose. And there's a practice and a science that undergirds the approach that the center adopts that has been championed by Dr. Cooper herself, as well as other faculty associated with the center and our community partners. You will soon hear about some of the efforts that the CAB has been involved in to establish a global presence, from Dr. Yvonne Commodore-Mensah and Ms. Nancy Malello. And as Reverend Hickman has mentioned, we co-developed marketing and communication tools to share the findings from the studies that the center has undertaken, with the goal of equipping CAB members with the information they need to use their voices to impact their families and their communities. And then finally, we're excitingly in the midst of evaluating the impact of the CAB over the past decade, not only the impact of the CAB on the center itself, but also the impact of the CAB among its members. So I am happy to share that we have a few of our community stakeholders who would like to extend their congratulations to Dr. Cooper and to the center, and roll the tape.
Hi, Dr. Cooper. Hope all is well, and this is really a surprise for you. I want to thank you, Dr. Cooper, for all the leadership that you have given and shown me over these past 9.5 years that I've been a part of health equity. I have learned so much. I'm so proud and so pleased to be a part of the ACT study, the Rich Life study, the 5+ Nuts and Beans study. I had the opportunity to be on panels. I've had the opportunity to be in publications. I've had the opportunity to even change my health since I have been on this community advisory group. I love you, Dr. Cooper. I've seen you work so hard throughout Baltimore City, showing all the talent and knowledge that you have and all the talent and knowledge that you have brought around you. Hopefully we all have made you shine, and hopefully and prayerfully, there's one thing that I've said in my tenure of being on this advisory community panel that will be and lift at least one person. I have watched and had some of the best opportunities that anyone could ask for, especially as a senior. I have paid attention, I have taken notes, and I have listened. And I thank you, your staff, and all the other associations and communities that have come out that have helped us learn about them. Take care of yourself, Dr. Cooper. Continue to do what you do. In these times of pandemic, God bless you. I love you. My family loves you, Lisa. And we wish you well. And I hope to be a part of this organization longer. Take care.
Wow, the Center for Health Equity has reached a milestone. It is now 10 years old, and I am here to congratulate the team that has worked alongside Dr. Lisa Cooper, a phenomenal woman who does phenomenal things to bring together the institution and the community. I am honored to say congratulations, and I know that the Center for Health Equity will be around for eons to come because of the type and the quality of leaders that you have had working alongside of you in the form of both sisters and brothers, a dynamic group of people, highly intelligent, very motivated and passionate. Something that the community really needs is the Center for Health Equity to continue many more decades in the future. Congratulations.
I'm T-Bone and just so honored to be able to celebrate with everyone this Center for Health Equity. So my cup runneth over with admiration and respect to our dear colleague who knows how to lead and be inclusively and most importantly, create an environment for others to thrive. Building teams of colleagues to accompany her in this journey for health equity. This center is evidence of the best from the movement for social justice for health equity for our most beloved and vulnerable populations. I am thankful for this opportunity and recall that in the beginning, this center was really entitled, "We're going to reduce or eliminate health disparities." I remember in developing the interventions for cardiovascular disease, where community health workers were significant members of the healthcare team. And Lisa saying to me, "This is so important, and how can we do a better job?" This is an example of her commitment of being a role model and a peer, leader and educator and impactful researcher. The Equity Center has brought your vision and your colleagues to a new level. May we all be blessed with a future for health equity.
I want to extend my heartfelt congratulations to Dr. Cooper and to the faculty, the trainees, staff, and community partners who have played such a profound role in really just cementing the Johns Hopkins Center for Health Equity as a leader for advancing social justice in health. And Dr. Cooper, to say that you've influenced my personal and professional trajectory is definitely an understatement. I know I'm not alone in these sentiments, and I just want to express my gratitude to you for your commitment to your mentees, for your zeal for community-centered research and practice, and really just your heartfelt desire to make an impact on the world around us at a time where so many people can just be selfish. You've already left such an indelible mark on all of the communities that you have worked with, and I'm confident that you and the center will continue to do so for years to come. Well, that was wonderful hearing from all of the community partners who have been impacted by Dr. Cooper, and not just the community partners, but those of us in research who endeavor to do community partnered work. So thank you for everything, Dr. Cooper. And it's now my great pleasure to introduce my friend and colleague, Dr. Rachel Thornton, who's an associate professor of pediatrics at the School of Medicine with a joint appointment in the Bloomberg School of Public Health. She is the Associate Director for Policy at the Johns Hopkins Center for Health Equity.
Thank you so much, Chidema. And it's so exciting to be here and to have this opportunity to work with, to share with everyone. I'm having some kind of strange technical glitch with my PowerPoint, but I'm gonna see if it's letting me share. Okay.
Let us know if you need help.
I think I will there's a permissions issue. I think if someone else could pull up the slides for me.
I think Gia, you have access.
I apologize for this.
And while Rachel is working,
but perhaps we,
Lisa, we see flowers in your background. Please share.
You do.
Flowers. What happened?
These arrived right when I was, as we were on the phone, on the call, my husband answered the door and these were at the door. So look at how beautiful they are.
Where are they from?
Hey.
Let me see, who could this possibly be from? From my amazing, amazing friends and colleagues at the Center for Health Equity. Thank you so much. These are so beautiful. You all have gone above and beyond. I'm actually speechless.
Great.
Well, with that, we've had magical resolution of my sharing challenges. So thank you for that moment, Dr. Purnell. That worked out perfectly. So I just wanted to speak a little bit more about Dr. Cooper's vision for the Center for Health Equity as a leading voice for health equity in policy and practice, and just give you a few highlights of the work that the center has been engaged in thus far, and I think the hope on the horizon for this work to continue to grow. This slide is meant to emphasize the role of the scholarship and the preeminence as researchers of center faculty that has caused them to be called on more than once to participate as experts in National Academy of Sciences, Engineering and Medicine consensus studies. I just want to take a moment also to acknowledge that predating the center's existence, Dr. Cooper played a seminal role in a commissioned paper for the Unequal Treatment Report released in the early 2000s, which I believe has really been revived today as we continue to examine what it is that that underpins the persistence, the recalcitrance of disparities. And I think Dr. Purnell's representation of the role the center has played in diversifying the voices and perspectives in scholarship and the role the center has played in doing that is just really important to emphasize. So even before the center's existence, Dr. Cooper was this kind of visionary scientific leader, and it's through the platform that the center has provided that she's been able to enable so many of us to acquire those skills and to serve as those kinds of leaders going forward to inform practice, whether it's in the role of integrating social care into medical records and healthcare delivery, or the role of cross-sector policies in addressing health inequities that can be worsened for children in the summer or beyond. And then the Rich Life study and the example of how this particular project has been able to be leveraged in the context of COVID-19 is again a testament to the important infrastructure that Dr. Cooper has built that allows us to be ready to respond in the midst of crises with proposals that can allow us to learn more about the particular challenges facing marginalized groups and underserved groups when it comes to healthcare. And just one example of that is a partnership we're involved in to fund a project to specifically look at the risk factors, engagement in care, family stress, and financial and mental health impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic among populations of adults with chronic disease on a subset of participants in the Rich Life study. When others need health equity research objectives to be incorporated into their work, they call the Center for Health Equity and they call Dr. Cooper so often. And on a similar vein, I've had the privilege as the center's Associate Director for Policy to be engaged with the Bloomberg American Health Initiative led by Dr. Sharfstein and tapped by Dr. Cooper as the center's lead to really work on how we can take what we know about community engaged programs and translate that into best practices for hospitals to implement, on which they should be judged and evaluated. And this is just an example of a proposal underway that we have we're called to do in collaboration with the Bloomberg American Health Initiative and the IBM 100 Top Hospitals ranking to develop a metric by which hospitals can be held to account and encouraged to implement practices that can promote community health and equity and be evaluated on those through their role as sources of health in communities, through their role as healthcare providers, as community partners, and also as employers and anchor institutions. And again, I think there are so many examples of the center advocating for policy. Dr. Cooper and others, I'm thinking also of Dr. Cruz. I know there are others who have given testimony to Congress or participated in special hearings on key issues. The symposia that Dr. Purnell has led through the JAM sessions on issues such as disparities in maternal mortality, on translating research findings to inform policy and practice. The list goes on and the future is bright. And I will just say that because of all this work and foundation, the center and Dr. Cooper have really been able to mobilize in the context of the COVID-19 pandemic to ensure that the narratives around disparate outcomes and disparate impacts are inclusive and well considered in terms of the focus on the mechanisms that promulgate inequities and the solutions we need to undercut and reverse those trends. It's with the preparation, with the rigor that she brings to everything she does, that Dr. Cooper has prepared us for the challenges that the current moment presents to all of us. So I'm going to stop there as far as the slides go and say that, you know, this thought leadership that the center brings is recognized by other thought leaders in health equity who have a few words to share with you on the next video. Dr. Cooper. I just want to say congratulations and happy 10th birthday to the Johns Hopkins Center for Health Equity and to its fearless leader, Dr. Lisa Cooper. A heartfelt thank you. The impact you have had on me personally as a scientist, as a physician, is beyond measure, and your impact on communities has been tremendous. Not only are you committed to giving voice to justice and equity, but you have supported, developed, deployed, and encouraged an army of health equity researchers that are at work all across this country and across the world, with a focus on improving the access to health and optimal well-being for those people who too often are unseen, marginalized, and forgotten. Thank you for your undying commitment to health equity and to justice, and for the fact that in every situation you bring your passion with love and compassion. Your impact is tremendous, and the impact of the center is only just beginning. Here's to the first 10 years and to decades and centuries to come. Thank you.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Dr. George Mensah. I'm from the National Institutes of Health, NIH, where I direct a center that serves as a strategic focal point for health equity research. In this role, I have come to really appreciate the crucial work that Dr. Lisa Cooper and the Johns Hopkins Center for Health Equity play in promoting health equity, especially in underserved, vulnerable populations here in the United States and abroad, especially in sub-Saharan Africa. Therefore, I am sending this tribute in deep, deep appreciation of the outstanding work you've done over the last decade. Congratulations. We're very, very proud of your work, and we're very, very proud of your impact.
This is Dr. Crystal Sine from the UNC School of Medicine. I'd like to congratulate Lisa and the entire team at the Center for Health Equity on 10 years of impactful work, both locally and globally. The success of the center is a direct result of the visionary leadership of its director and founder, Dr. Lisa Cooper, my mentor, friend, and role model for the past 15 years. As a leader, Lisa is courageous, steadfast, and passionate about doing community-partnered work that amplifies and uplifts the voices and plight of those who are marginalized and vulnerable. I believe that it is Lisa's faith and belief in the humanity of all people and the inherent strength and resilience of socially disadvantaged individuals and groups that has contributed to her and the center's success. Lisa is a transformative leader with a servant's heart. And because of this, the center and all of those who have had the privilege of working closely with her have been made the better. So congratulations, team, on 10 years, and we look forward to many more decades of work.
My name is Bengal Gedegbe, Professor of Medicine and Population Health at NYU Grossman School of Medicine. Dear Lisa, congratulations on this wonderful feat. Congratulations on the 10th year anniversary of the Johns Hopkins Center for Health Equity, which you founded 10 years ago. Thank you for the wonderful work you've done in this field. Thank you for trailblazing this path, for making health equity research what it is today, even before people knew the word. Thank you for your contribution to the IOM report on equal treatment that shed light truly on health inequities in the country. Thank you, Lisa, for developing the mechanism and model that allows us to understand the mechanism of health inequities. I'm truly grateful for all the work you've done. With gratitude. Good luck in the future.
Congratulations, Lisa. I'm so proud of you and the center for 10 years of amazing work, scholarship, research to change the lives of so many people here in this country and around the globe who have been affected by structural racism and other inequities. I want to add my note of thanks and congratulations for the Hopkins Equity Center. I'm looking forward to many more years of work and scholarship and impact to come. Congratulations again.
My name is David Williams, and today is October 30th, but it's a winter's day in Boston, Massachusetts. I'm a professor at Harvard University, but I just had to take the time to come outside and say congratulations to Dr. Lisa Cooper and the 10 years of her leadership at the Center for Health Equity. When I think of my great colleague and friend Lisa, I think of someone who is totally competent, smart, approachable, kind, caring, thoughtful. She can be flexible but firm and incredibly humble. I think it's just wonderful for the leadership and the national leadership she has brought to directing this center. She does everything with tremendous grace. And I wish her and the center 10 more years of success and everything good as you celebrate today. All the best and have a wonderful time celebrating the success that is so well deserved that you have achieved and the difference you are making in the lives of so many.
In fact, international. And so it brings me great joy to introduce Ms. Nancy Malello and Dr. Yvonne Commodore-Mensah, who will give you an update on the center's global reach and strategic partnerships, which really illustrate the impact of the center beyond our borders.
Thank you so much, Dr. Thornton. Hi, everyone. I'm Yvonne Commodore-Mensah. I'm an assistant professor at the School of Nursing and the co-PI of the IDNCREST study. So together with Nancy Malello, we'll be sharing some information about our local global initiatives and strategic partnerships. So the center has begun to broaden its reach and impact to consider socioeconomically disadvantaged populations globally in what we call our Think Locally, Act Globally framework. So our goal here is to leverage the center's strengths, which include authentic community engagement and stakeholder engagement, and the center's capacity in building strong community academic partnerships towards achieving a bold vision of global health equity. And the second is to create a local to global, global to local learning and action network. So the first study in this initiative is the IDNCREST study. I'm honored to serve as the co-PI of the study, and the other co-PI, Dr. Fred Sarfo, is actually on the call today. And so this study is supposed to be addressing hypertension care in Africa, and it's a 2-arm cluster randomized controlled trial that is based in Kumasi, Ghana. And so the goal of the study is to use a multi-level nurse-led and mobile health enhanced intervention to help patients with uncontrolled hypertension. And we are empowering patients by providing them with home blood pressure devices, and patients have the opportunity to work with trained nurses to help improve their blood pressure. And our outcomes are listed on this slide. But I want to share a little detail with you, which is our study logo. Our study logo is inspired by the IDNCREST symbol, which means Akoma in Swahili. So to translate, it means linked hearts, which is a symbol of unity and agreement, and we think that's appropriate for this collaboration. This study is using a transdisciplinary approach, so we are collaborating with Medtronic labs and faculty across different divisions at Hopkins, including the School of Arts and Sciences, School of Medicine, School of Public Health, School of Nursing, as well as the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. And we are leveraging the strengths of the different disciplines represented on the slide. So we thought it would be helpful to share some photos from some of our study trips and stakeholder engagement. So on the bottom left corner is Dr. Cooper with one of the participants in our study, who actually told us during the study visit that this study has had a tremendous impact on her life, and she's been able to bring her blood pressure down, and she thanked us. She was so grateful for this study. And also shown on this slide are some of our team members. So you'll see Dr. Catherine Fody, who actually taught a lecture on home blood pressure monitoring, and Dr. Turkson Okran, who's a current postdoc, who taught a lecture on clinic-based blood pressure monitoring. But I also want to highlight our nurses, who are the true champions of our study, and some of them are shown on this slide. And I also want to mention that this study is funded by the Johns Hopkins the Johns Hopkins Alliance for a Healthier World, who have made the study possible. We've also established a memorandum of understanding with the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology School of Public Health. And shown here is the Dean of the School of Public Health. And this was during one of our stakeholder engagement trips. So as Dr. Williams mentioned earlier, Dr. Cooper does not cut corners. If you're going to do something, you have to do it right. So for our very first trip, we spent time meeting with the deans of the School of Nursing and Public Health and Medicine, but also representatives from the Ministry of Health. And also shown on this slide is Nancy Malello, who taught a session on design thinking. And during our recent trip to Ghana in January of the year, had the opportunity to visit the University of Ghana School of Nursing. And during our visit, we also gave presentations on communication strategies, which was led by Dr. Cooper. Dr. Diana Baptiste taught a lecture on research and quality improvement, and I also gave a lecture on cardiovascular disease prevention. And I'll hand over to Nancy Malello to walk us through some of our global to local work, as well as our strategic partnerships.
Thanks, Yvonne. So as Yvonne said, the framework of Think Locally, Act Globally has been our guiding light. And I want to just give you a few overview of what we've done over the last 3 years. So in October of 2018, we had a global to local symposium in collaboration with the Alliance for a Healthier World. And we used human-centered design to find ways to work together as teams to solve complex problems that were local to each team member. We had 30 public health experts and advocates from Johns Hopkins, from Baylor College of Medicine in Uganda, and from Moore University in Kenya, and Sisters Together and Reaching in Baltimore, as well as numerous faculty from Johns Hopkins. And I thought it would be best, instead of me telling you how wonderful the event was, to hear this from Stephen Sarfo, who is our partner from KNUST, as Dr. Commodore Menza mentioned. And he said, I really gained a deeper appreciation of why, as an academician, I must engage with my local community advisory board in designing human-centered interventions. The insights you shared as a group will shape the way I think about research for a lifetime. One of the results of the event was that we had 2 Spark grants, as we called them, and they were awarded to teams of the attendees who applied for the grants, and they were multi-sector solutions to health equity problems in the communities locally and globally. Next slide, Yvonne. One of the Spark grants was awarded to the Community Advisory Board of the Center for Health Equity, and under the leadership of Deborah Hickman, Reverend Hickman, we were able to travel to Uganda and developed a toolkit evaluating community and academic partnerships with CABs in Kampala, Uganda, as well as Reverend Hickman at the lead, and myself and some other community members traveling there to develop this toolkit. And again, we used human-centered design to develop the prototype. Next slide. Again, we developed partnerships, as we always do, under Lisa's mentorship, and we developed partnerships with McCary University, Johns Hopkins University. We were able to meet with 5 of their community advisory boards during this event. We also partnered with Baylor, Uganda, and met with a number of their community advisory boards. Next slide. We wanted to just show you a few pictures of some of the great work we were able to do during our week's trip there in 2018. Next slide. Again, we met with the dean at the School of Public Health at McCary University, and actually have applied for a few grants with the School of Public Health. And it was an opportunity for us to continue and further that relationship. And then in 2019, we supported a symposium around achieving health equity together. Yvonne, do you want to say a comment since you were the moderator of that?
Yes, sure. So in keeping with our theme of think locally, act globally, we held a panel discussion on April 24th, 2019, and we invited global experts who have worked in different settings in trying to improve the health of disadvantaged communities. So as shown on this slide, Dr. Cooper was one of the panelists. We also had Dr. Benga Ogedebi and Reverend Hickman who participated. And so if you're interested in listening to that panel discussion, the link is available through the center's website.
Thank you. And just to share another slide with you all quickly is a few of our local partnerships, our global partnerships, our corporate partnerships. And I know we're fortunate enough to have a number of those partners on the call today, and especially to Rhonda Chapman from the American Heart Association. And now we also have a few of our partners from around the globe who would like to congratulate Dr. Cooper. So if we can go ahead and play the video.
Hi, Lisa. Congratulations to you on the 10th anniversary of the Center for Health Equity. Your work is truly inspirational. It has motivated a lot of us. And on the occasion of this anniversary, I wish to surprise you by greeting you from Ghana. And thank you for all the opportunities you've given to us for helping us to work together in improving healthcare access, healthcare equity for minority populations. God bless and have a blast.
Hello, Dr. Cooper and the team of the Center for Health Equity. My name is Monica and I work at Centro Sol. I just wanted to send you a big congratulations for this amazing accomplishment of your 10th anniversary. And Dr. Cooper, I wanted to thank you for your tireless work for health equity, supporting the most vulnerable here in Baltimore and in the world. Thank you for your advocacy. Thank you for your tireless work. Thank you for being an inspiration for many women in leadership and for paving the way for all of us. You are definitely someone who we can look up to, and I'm so grateful to meet you and collaborate and work with you and have you so close by. I wish you 10 more years and many more decades of strong work to address health equity in the world. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I'm Nancy Edwards-Malolo, and I'm the Program Director for the Center for Health Equity. I'm honored to be part of this 10-year celebration for the center and to take this opportunity to honor Lisa's contribution to the field. It's been my pleasure to work alongside the faculty and staff and our Community Advisory Board members with Lisa at the helm to accomplish the center's vision, which is a community, a nation, and a world in which every person can achieve his or her best health. Over the past few years, we've expanded our center's impact around the globe with partnerships in Uganda and Ghana. In our work, we've learned that we are a global community and we are much more alike than we are different. Lisa often uses the African proverb, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And this proverb is core to who she is, and I'm honored to be part of her team together with her on this journey. Many blessings to our next 10 years.
Hi, this is Yvonne Commodore-Mensah, core faculty of the Center for Health Equity. I want to wish the center a happy 10-year anniversary. I've had the honor of being involved with the center for the past 10 years, and I'm especially grateful for the collaboration of the center in conducting the Idincrest study in Ghana to improve blood pressure control. And I'm also grateful to have the support of Dr. Lisa Cooper, who is one of my mentors. Lisa, watching you lead with grit and grace has been one of the best parts of my experience here at Hopkins, so thank you.
now I'd like to introduce Deirdre Cruz, the Associate Director for Research at the Center, and Dr. Jill Marsteller, who alongside with Lisa have co-led several research projects over the past decade.
Thank you, Ms. Malello. Let me get my screen share going here. I hope everyone can see this. What a wonderful occasion. I've really been enjoying hearing all of the tributes, and certainly want to add my voice to those that are celebrating both the center today and our wonderful leader, Dr. Cooper. I want to share briefly because a lot of this has been touched upon already by others who've spoken, but just to highlight some of the research work that has occurred here at the center. I'll share a bit about this, and then Dr. Marsteller will pick up in the last couple of slides. So when we think really broadly about the type of work that is conducted at the Center for Health Equity, I think it's important to highlight that for many years we have known that that disparities in a number of different indices of health exist really across the life course, and we even have evidence of certain ways that we can effectively address those disparities. But I think one thing that has been so key to the work of the center is in our efforts to try to move us to a place of health equity. There's been a real focus on implementation and what is needed to actually translate that work that has been done in observational studies and in some of the some of the clinical trials that have been conducted to actually then get those out into communities where they can really have a meaningful impact. And so this figure really sort of, I think, highlights the type of work that we do that tries to bridge that gap between knowledge and the achievement of health equity. And so we at the center have been able to conduct a number of different studies that have been highlighted, including these 3 studies that were part of the original funding mechanism that Dr. Cooper mentioned earlier, those being Project Red Chip, the 5+ Nuts and Beans study, and then the ACT study. And each of them were in different ways trying to tackle the issue of disparities in hypertension, one being a health system intervention, the other being a community-based dietary intervention, and then the third being a behavioral intervention, really focused on empowering individuals who have uncontrolled hypertension to be the real sort of leaders of their own care and to be able to manage their own condition. And so in thinking about the current studies that we have ongoing, myself and Dr. Pete Miller lead the 5+ Nuts and Beans for Kidneys trial, which builds upon the pilot version of this, the 5+ Nuts and Beans pilot study that Dr. Miller and Dr. Jessica Ye led. What we are conducting now is a 12-month, 2-phase community-based dietary intervention that is inclusive of 150 predominantly low-income African-American participants who have both hypertension and they have kidney damage. They are leaking protein in their urine. And what we're doing in this study is to test whether the provision of nutritional advice to adopt a DASH-like diet, the Dietary Approaches to Stop Hypertension like diet, plus $30 a week worth of potassium-rich foods, which are largely fruits, vegetables, nuts, and beans. And these foods are tailored to the choices that the participants in the study are making, and then also to availability of those foods at a local grocer that we are partnering with. And the primary goal is to see if we can reduce this loss of protein in the urine, which has been shown in other studies to be able to then slow progression of kidney disease so that we can reduce the number of people who go on to develop a need for kidney transplantation or kidney dialysis. And we're also looking at trying to reduce blood pressure in this population as well. And so Dr. Marsteller, do you want to talk about Rich Life?
Yes, thank you. So Rich Life stands for Reducing Inequities in Care of Hypertension, Lifestyle Improvements for Everyone. And this is a cluster randomized trial. We have 30 participating sites in Maryland and Pennsylvania. So it's quite a large undertaking. And we've been working on it for 5 years now. We have one more year of the intervention or of the learning from the intervention. So the participants are 1,800 approximately adult patients. They have to have uncontrolled hypertension and one other condition: diabetes, depression, high cholesterol, heart disease, or tobacco smoking. So our interventions are one that is essentially a standard of care plus, with a few extra bells and whistles added to standard of care. And then the more intensive aspect of the intervention is the collaborative care, stepped care intervention. This includes a nurse care manager to help the patients achieve lower blood pressure, and a community health worker or specialist panel consultation for those patients who are having continuing trouble getting their blood pressure down. And so the reason to have this as part of our study is to reach into the environment of the patient and try to really assist with those social determinants of health that we know that can lead to disparate outcomes between African Americans and white patients, and between Hispanic patients and non-Hispanic patients. So our outcomes will be measured at 12 and 24 months, and they include whether BP is controlled and also the change in patient activation. So this has been a terrific ongoing project that we're very proud of, and we hope will help many people in real time manage their blood pressure, but with implications for others and for the science. Next slide. We'd also like to just show the beautiful photos of all of these wonderful people who have been had trainee and career development awards that have been supported by the Center for Health Equity. So you can see here, and many of you are with us today, Raquel Greer, Chidima Ibe, Fabian Johnston, La Princess Brewer, Anika Hines, Tangela Purnell, Rachel Thornton, John Jackson, and Carmen Alvarez. So we're so proud of these wonderful scholars as they continue to expand their own work and grow in the area of health equity research. So we're really looking forward to big things from all of these wonderful and growing scholars. Back to you, Deirdre.
Thank you. And I think I am turning things over at this time to...
So Deirdre, a few more...
a video. Yes. Yes, to a video.
An associate director in the Center for Health Equity. Congratulations to the center on its 10th anniversary, and to Dr. Lisa Cooper for her tireless work to create the center and to better the health of vulnerable populations. During the many years that I have worked with Lisa, I have seen firsthand her dedication to empowering patients to participate in their health decisions, to improving the communication skills of primary care providers, to educating policymakers and public health officials on health disparities and implicit bias, and most importantly, to training the next generation of health equity researchers to carry on her critical work. Best wishes to the center and to Lisa for many more years of impactful service.
Hi to Lisa and everyone at the Center for Health Equity. It's been a privilege to work with you for the past decade as the center has grown from leading important projects in and around Baltimore City to having a global presence. And the work that you do inspires people. It not only improves health, but it also ensures that everyone will achieve their full potential. So I want to congratulate you for 10 inspiring years and to wish you even more successes in the decades to come.
Happy 10-year anniversary. I'm so honored to get to work alongside each of you and want to express my gratitude especially for Dr. Cooper for your visionary leadership that led you to found the Center for Health Equity. Lisa, I am in complete awe of you and find it completely amazing that you, after so many years of doing so much groundbreaking and pioneering work addressing health disparities, had the vision for something greater that we could all be a part of. Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you so much. And we have one more last surprise that we'd like to share with all of you, and surprise for Lisa. There we go. Can everyone see? So as many of you know, we had a kudos board that we asked people to make comments and share pictures. We'll send this link out again if people want to add. There were so many comments in the chat. So many people expressing gratitude for all that Lisa has done for them personally and for their career, as well as gratitude for the center and other faculty that she has brought together to help to create a place for people to grow and flourish. And a number of people from around the globe wanted to share all of the great feelings of love and joy that they had for her. And I just want to read one from David Levine, who said, heartiest congratulations. What an incredible impact this center has had on the world under your outstanding leadership and your outstanding and gifted leadership. It has and will continue to lead the way in addressing our most pressing health and social issues to elevate individuals and populations. May the good Lord bless and sustain this work and bless you. What an honor to be part of your life. So again, we're happy to share this with others who want to share a picture or share a story and have a tribute to you, Lisa. So I know that we've kept everybody a little bit longer than anticipated, but there was a lot of love and joy to share. And again, thank you to the whole team that really this took to pull off. And it's been a joy for me personally to be a part of the team. Tangela, do you want to have say one last word, and then Lisa, final remarks?
One last word, two last words. First, for all of our center core faculty members, CAB members, staff members, trainees, I think you can raise your hand, use the raise your hand function or something to identify yourself here. We have so many wonderful members of this center, and we certainly recognize and appreciate all of you and your hard work and your efforts and dedication to health equity. And finally, to our leader, Dr. Lisa Cooper, our sister, our friend, our mentor, our auntie, our big sister, are lots of things that she has been to lots of us. We thank you, we honor you. We hope that you enjoyed today's celebration. I think the fact that you were gracious enough to turn over the leadership of today's event to other members of the leadership team speaks to your inclusive leadership style as well. And so again, I hope you saw that we wanted to tell the world, and most importantly, to tell you that you are loved, you are appreciated, you are valued, you are seen. Your work is important. Your work is not just something that's timely in a moment. It is something that has inspired all of us, that will impact the world for many more centuries to come. And you have done it. You've done what God created you to do. You continue to help us to do what God has created us to do. And we love you and we appreciate you. Mm-hmm. Thank you. And now you get to have the final
maybe our metric for success. We all decided if we could get Lisa to cry, then we know that our event was a success. So,
Nancy, and let's make sure we save all of these wonderful messages in the chat. Oh my God, they are so amazing as well. So you'll get to cry later when you need more. So if you've gotten yourself together, we can get the final remarks from you.
Sure. Well, of course you succeeded, but of course I started crying in about 2 minutes into the program. So I'm not going to keep everyone long. I know it's been a long afternoon, but this has been really wonderful, way beyond, anything I could have imagined or expected. And I'm just looking forward to 10 more years. Maybe I won't actually be here, but but I will definitely be there for everyone else continuing this journey. It's been amazing. And of course, like everyone else has said, it's definitely takes a village. So I appreciate all the expressions, but you certainly know that we wouldn't be here today without each and every one of you. So thank you.
All right, so we are done, ladies and gentlemen. I see from Dr. Bowie asking where's the music. You're right. You know, we normally do a party over here. I'm not in charge of the music today. I don't know if Devin has anything on hand, but we do thank Devin and Gia for keeping us rolling with these videos as well. Michelle Simmons is here, our star, our rock star. So, and thank you to the nearly 80 of you who stuck it out with us a little longer than we scheduled. But
thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. God bless.
Good day. Bye.
Great work, everybody. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Maria.
I love you.
Everybody.
Bye. Congratulations.
Bye. Take care.
Congratulations, everybody.
Congratulations.
Thank you.